So, hello and welcome to Career Chat Live. So, this is a series that we created for African women in STEM where we have straight talk and real strategies for you to excel in your career. So, I'm Adesi Lejidogan, and founder of African Women in STEM. I'm also a leadership and strategy expert and an author. And African Women in STEM is on a mission to empower you to take ownership of your careers, reach your full potential, and pay it forward. So every week on the Career Chat Live, we're going to have a guest mentor, or it might just be me, but we will tackle one of the questions that you all send in the community, and hopefully we can give you the answer that you're looking for. And if not, feel free to send us an email or a DM and let us know. We can follow up with whatever else you have and you need answered. So again, if you're here listening, just know that you can always send us your questions. You can send me a DM on Instagram or LinkedIn, or you can send an email to support@africanministem.com. So follow us again also on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram so you don't miss any of the episodes. I can always go back and watch the previous ones. So today, my guest is Ivory Okua. I hope I said your last name correctly. I should have asked you how to pronounce it before, but I am so happy to have you here. And this is the first time we're kind of like seeing somebody face to face in a sense. But I'm really excited because you've been a part of this community and you've been giving so much. And I am excited to have people hear you today, express your awesomeness. All right, so please introduce yourself and then we can go with the questions.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me, Adeze. It's a pleasure to be on this call, to be on this gathering with you, talk about careers and answer some questions that I think I could answer, provide answers to. So, my name is Ivory Okowa. I am a sales and marketing executive. Although on the side, I do a little thing on the side like brand management, social media management, digital marketing, basically anything in the digital space. I have a little bit of idea or I have a lot of idea. So that's me. I'm really happy to be here.
I am happy to have you here. And the question today, this is the reason why I brought her because I mean, she's like a storytelling expert, a branding expert. And these days, even if you don't have a business per se, if you have a career, you have to have a personal brand. And every interaction you have at work with your manager and so on and so forth, you have to have your personal brand front and center. So today we're going to talk about performance reviews. This comes every year. I used to hate them. I used to absolutely hate them because I'm like, oh my goodness, now I have to start talking about everything that I did all year. However, I want us to get to a point where we're actually excited and looking forward to performance reviews. So the question that I got, I agree, is somebody was asking, how can I talk about myself and what I've accomplished during a performance review in a way that clearly shows my impact and doesn't just list what I've done. So they want to be able to show how their work supports their team and supports their organizations because we know that performance review are one of the criteria for promotions and raises and so on and so forth, even though you're supposed to be doing the work before, but let's just focus on the performance review. So how can they talk about themselves and everything they've done throughout the year in their performance review so they can clearly show their impact?
Okay, thank you for that question. In my experience, I have come to understand that one of the best ways to show how much work you've been doing without actually taking away attention from what needs to be done is by doing like a side by side comparison, more like a before and after. So you can start by showing what it was like before you took up that role or before that a task was assigned to you, and then you can now show what happened after you stepped in, because now it gives everyone an overview or an oversight of what has been happening before and then what changed when you stepped in. Along with that, another thing that you can do is to actually show the process. So don't just give the numbers, don't just say you did this, don't just say you changed this. Take us through the process. What are the things that you did, and what are the things that worked? Because, if you're being honest, if you take up like 5 or 6 tasks, or if you come up with some activities, not all of them is going to work. So you should be very mindful about showing the things that actually did the work, the ones that actually made an impact, and the ones that did not. So the ones that did not work, though, you can't just throw them off completely, right? You have to find out why they didn't work. What could you have done differently to change the outcome? And then if you when you found out what could have happened differently, did you actually implement the change, or did you push it aside for like something else? So that's how I would do it. That's how I handle my performance reviews. So I bring forward what happened before, what it was like before, and then what steps that I carried, and then how it affected the outcome.
I love this because this is why I love having these conversations because I learn something new every day. So the idea of showing the before and the after is actually excellent because it shows clearly, what the difference is, what the progress is, what you've done. This because sometimes when you go through a process and achieve something, people have short-term memory, okay? So they will forget how it used to be because maybe over time, maybe the same happened months ago, they're used to what it is like now. So doing the before and after is kind of like a way to actually show your impact. And I like what you said about taking them through the process because it also shows the work that you've done and how you're able to solve a problem critically. Because now you're walking them through a process, telling them what you've done, the things that work, the things that didn't work, and they can appreciate how much you've put in and how much effort you made to move the company forward. So thank you so much for sharing that, and I hope whoever submitted this question, I hope we answered your question. I usually don't say the name, but let us know if this was beneficial to you, if this was useful to you. I learned something today, and I want to say thank you. So I usually ask this question of the mentors on this call. So based on what you do, you can either answer what is one question that people usually ask you about what you do, or you can answer what is one question you wish people will ask you about what you do.
The first one is, what is one question people ask me about what I do?
Yeah.
Okay, that is the question I'm going to pick.
Okay.
Whenever I introduce myself as someone in the sales, marketing, and brand development sector, a lot of people are like, oh, they tend to focus more on the marketing aspect because marketing is something so broad, it's something so vast. And when you say you do digital marketing, they're like, okay, so you run ads. And I'm like, digital marketing is not just about ads. There are so many aspects to digital marketing. So I actually like it when people ask me that because it gives me the opportunity to actually explain what I do. So I'm not just running ads on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn. I'm also doing email marketing. I'm also doing SEO marketing. I'm also doing offline marketing as well. I mean, sometimes the physical marketing, physical outreach is all part of marketing. So that is all of that and more encompasses digital marketing. So when someone asks me, when I talk about what I do, and they ask, "Oh, you run ads," and I just smile because it's another opportunity to show myself in the Nigerian sense. Let me show myself. I'll tell you what I do, and then people, it's actually quite sad that marketing is an integral part of every business, but a lot of people do not actually focus more on it because they don't understand it. I just wish there was a platform, an opportunity to actually lecture people on how digital marketing would help their businesses. But for the time being, when they ask me what I do, I just give them like a summary of everything and how it helps their business.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because I think, especially if it's not what you do on a daily basis, or um, if you haven't been in business for long enough to actually have tried out everything, most times, when you talk about digital marketing, it's either unclear or to your point, it's like, oh, is it running ads or people don't even know where to start. But I'm glad you talked about that because um, sometimes some words seem like they're clear, but they're not, So thank you for sharing that with us. And so if you do not understand what digital marketing is, at least now you have a clue. And if you want more, you can always reach out to Ivory. She'll be very happy to explain that to you and let you know what she does as well. So because this is the age we're in, like AI is the thing. Okay, whether you like it or not, it's so funny. Like last week I had a meeting because we were running this mentorship program at African Women in STEM, and it was our midpoint check-in, and we were talking about different things. So the presentation was around AI and upskilling, and then somebody else had a question because she also mentors another group of people, and the question is always around AI and how can I use AI and how can it benefit me. So that's why I like to bring it up whenever I have guests. So I want to ask you today, how do you use AI to either make your life easier or to make your work easier?
I was having a conversation. I'll start by saying I was having a conversation with a friend yesterday, and the issue of AI came up. And he was saying something like, the next couple of years is going to be hard because AI is going to replace people, like take up their jobs, and a lot of people are going to be out of jobs because of AI. And I was like, that's not necessarily true because AI is here to make your work easier. It's not going to put you out of job if you're good at what you do. For me, in my case, for example, I do digital marketing, I do brand management. AI helps me from my brainstorming, content strategy, calendar creation, just coming up with some things because sometimes I get blocked, and it's actually hard when you're working with maybe two, three different brands in different industries. Trying to keep up with these industries at the same time can be hard. So AI comes in very handy for me. So if I get stuck somewhere and I'm a bit confused, I can just quickly ask AI what would be the best strategy to implement for this brand in this sector to skyrocket their marketing, their visibility, and all of that. So I don't take everything AI gives me completely. It's just it's just a boost. It gives me a boost. All right. So I'm actually happy that AI is here because back a couple of years back when I started writing, I was doing everything manually, like having to conduct hours, be days, maybe even months of research on a topic that is totally new to me. But now with AI, if I have a project that I'm working on and I need to conduct research, AI just like it cuts the time short. So I can just go on any AI tool, any um, artificial intelligence tool like Cloud and thereabout. Just ask about these things, and I'll ask for like verified information and where I can find them. So it will just give me pointers and tell me you go here, this is where you find this is where you find this. And it's easier because if I decide to do that all on my own, it's going to take a lot of time and I may not even end up finding exactly what I want. But AI is there. It will tell me this is what you should do, this is what you should do. And another thing, when it comes to creating graphics, when it comes to creating images or campaign materials, AI will also help me do that. So it will tell me the best kind of graphic to use. It will give me a tip. And like if you're creating a campaign for maybe a brand that produces soft drinks, the target audience is this market, you would might want to consider using this kind of graphic because it would speak to them directly and not push them off or not sound boring and all of that. So I don't even know what I would do without AI at this point in my career. It has helped me tremendously, and every day I keep discovering new things that I can do with AI. That things that I was like maybe a couple of months back, and I was like, I wish I knew about this months back. It would have been so much easier. It would have saved me a lot of stress. But it's still fine. It's a step by step process. But I'm really glad for what AI is doing right now. So to answer that question that my friend had yesterday, the concern that he had, where he said AI is going to replace some jobs, my point is if you are really good at something that you do, AI is not going to push you out. You're just going to be there as like a guide for AI, because whether we like it or not, AI still needs our help to improve. So there are people who train AI models in different sectors. So maybe you are a software engineer or you're a graphic designer. There are AIs that can create graphics, yes, but the prompting, you are the expert. You've been doing this for years. You are the one that can give the right prompts to these AI to give a better product. So not necessarily it's not pushing you out. It still needs your help. So yeah, AI is marvel. Is a marvel, and I'm glad for it. I'm happy for it.
Yeah, and just to add to what you said, and I know this has been said over and over again, but at least for now, as far as we know it, someone said AI will not replace your job, but people that know how to use AI are the ones that will replace your job. Because again, you talked about how you're learning things and it's making you more efficient and it's making you do the job faster. If I had to pick between someone that knows how to apply a tool to do the job maybe faster, better, to some extent, versus somebody that wants to go the old way, we know how it's going to go. So I hope you are more comfortable with exploring AI and exploring how it can help you with what you do. I know sometimes if you're working for an organization, it might be a bit tricky because there might be some a limit to what they can allow, but at least for your own good, for what you're learning outside of work and where you're trying to get to the information for help to help you do your work better, you can always implement it and apply it to whatever extent you feel necessary. So thank you so much, Ivory, for coming on here today and answering our questions. This is awesome. And if you're listening and you have questions, feel free to send it to us, support at africanwomenintime.com, or send me a DM on Instagram or LinkedIn. So don't forget to follow us on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram so that you don't miss any of these career chat lives with a special guest or with just me week after week. Um, do you have anything that you want to say? And then we can just close out.
I would say don't be scared of AI. It's not harmful. Well, depending on how you use it, anyway. But it's not. It's here to help. So don't be scared to learn new things. Don't be scared to try out new things. Don't be scared to explore. And don't be scared to like learn about things outside of your industry or your comfort zone. Just I think they say no knowledge is a waste, so we should
Yeah.
always strive to learn more than we know.
Yeah.
That's it.
So there you have it. Always be open to learning. Always be open to learning. Because again, I don't think that if you ever stop learning, I think somebody says if when I stop learning, I actually die or something like that. But as long as you're living in this life, life is always going to keep evolving, and as long as you're learning, you're going to keep up with it and actually have a more exciting experience. All right. So thank you so much, and don't forget to follow us on YouTube, Instagram, or LinkedIn so you don't miss any of this at all. And send us your
Thank you
questions.
for having me.
Thank you for being here. Bye.
Bye. Bye.